Let us now look at a new concept of programming, which we call it as file programming. Till now, we have been doing a traditional programming where I used to accept the input from the user through the standard input device. And I used to deliver the output to the standard output device, that is your monitor. So we used to accept the values from the keyboard and we used to deliver the output to the monitor. But probably when the input is very large, this traditional acceptance of input or delivering the output may not be feasible. If I have to illustrate this with an example, let us consider that I wish to now do a programming based on a large set of data. If I have a large set of data, in that case, every time keying in the input from the keyboard is not feasible. If I say that I have to accept the data when the program is executed, probably when the first attempt to execute the program, I might key in the data very easily. Suppose if I say that I need to test it for one more time with the data. So in that case, if I try to re-enter the data, that particular data entry becomes too difficult. Because every time keying in that particular input is not a simple task. But I'm not supposed to write the program again and again, because when I write a program gets saved onto the memory, that is a secondary memory, your hard disk. But when the input is entered for a program, the input is not stored in the secondary memory. The input is now stored in the primary memory, that is RAM. And as soon as I complete the execution of the program, the input is accepted from the RAM and the program works on that particular input and delivers the required output. And after that, the input is erased out. That is, it is being cleared. So when I run the program for the second time, I'm supposed to make again the entry, again to have the input of to be entered by the user. So every time when a program runs, it is not advisable to key in the input. If the input is say 2 numbers or 3 numbers or 5 numbers, one can have the patience of entering that particular input and measuring or doing the execution on that particular input and delivering the output. But when the input is very large, for example, if I'm doing a programming for a bank, so obviously bank has got not just 1 or 2 customers. Bank has got hundreds of customers, and each customer will have again multiple details. So every time I can't ask the banker to enter the input as soon as the bank opens and then write the output on the monitor rather than getting on a piece of paper rather than storing the output. So it is very difficult. If I have to take one more example, suppose if I say that I had to find the person who has scored the highest marks in a class whose strength is somewhere around 200. I can write a program, and suppose if I make an entry of all 200 numbers, my program will be able to deliver the largest of those 200 numbers. But if I say that the class is having a now strength of 205, where 200 students will remain same, 5 students have been added to this plan. If I run the program one more time, assume that the program has been modified for 205 numbers. If I again run the program, will my 200 numbers which I have entered from the past will be recovered? No. I had to make all the 205 entries one more time. If one more student gets added up into the class, probably the programming structure may not be altered, the program structure remains same. But the input has to be entered every time. So it means that till now we have been doing this traditional task. I used to write a program. This is my program which used to accept the input. So the input which I had given is from the keyboard, and the output which is delivered is to a monitor. This is the traditional task which we have been doing. Now, I have already identified the drawbacks of this particular code. The drawbacks of this code is that the input which is entered to the program doesn't remain permanently onto the disk. The program might stay on the disk for a long period as long as you don't erase it manually. Similarly, the output which is delivered to the monitor remains for a short period. When I run the second program, the output is overwritten. The output gets scrolled out. If the output is very, very large, then analyzing that particular output is a difficult task. For that reason, what we do is we now move out of this particular traditional programming. So such a programming concept is applicable only when the input is very small or the output is visible in one screen. But every time you can't assure that the program will have input in a smaller quantity. And especially when you are relating your programming with some real life application, then this traditional programming practice never works. For a small input, if you want to test your program, probably yes, this program may work. But when it comes to large input, I had to modify this particular program, and there we have this particular title called as file programming. What exactly mean by this particular file programming? Every time when the program got executed, we never wrote the program again and again. The program was saved permanently onto the hard disk. Why don't we now save your input like a program itself? So it means that now I'll be having a program which takes up file, I'll call this as a file program. Now this again accepts input. But here, the input is not stored or not given from the keyboard. The input is stored like a file itself. So I'll say I have a file. I have a file and I'll make my program to accept the input not from the keyboard but from this particular file itself. So the input now goes from the file. So now it means that when the input is very, very large, I can very easily say that I'm not supposed to write this particular input every time, key in the input every time. I'm supposed to make the input one time, enter all the inputs, save it with a name, with any extension of your choice, and make your file to read the input from this. If the output is very little in quantity, probably you might transfer the output to the monitor and you can view the output. But again, if the output is very, very large, if the output is large in quantity, in that case, again, I can make the output to flow to a file. So I can make the output to flow to a file. And this output will be stored permanently onto the file. You can view this particular output at any time of your choice, at any place of your choice. And even if you wish to take a copy of this, you can take a copy of this. Generally, output is transferred to a file when you want to carry out an analysis on this particular file. Whenever you want to do analysis on the output, at that time it is always advisable to carry out the output of file. Or if you want the output of one program to be appearing as input to some other program, probably in that case it is always advisable to take the output as file. So it is concluded that file programming doesn't accept the input from the keyboard, neither it delivers the output to the monitor. It accepts the input from a file and it also delivers the output of file. Don't be under the impression that when the input is accepted from the file, the output has to be given to the file. No. You can accept the input from a file and deliver it to the keyboard or deliver it to the monitor. Or you can accept the input from the keyboard and deliver the output only to a file. So it all depends upon your application. So file programming is basically used to store or to read the input when it is very large. When the output is very large, we can go with this particular file programming. Now, basically, how do I store the input? How do I store the output? May differ the files into two types. One, normally text type, where I'll have some input numbers which are entered on a separate line. Suppose if I'm storing the values into a variable, the variable values are stored onto a file. We call this as a normal file. But probably when you relate your real life applications, this might not be the practice which you might follow. Because when I say that in real life, the details for one entity will be multiple. For example, if I say bank, your bank will have multiple details for a customer. Bank will have different types of accounts first of all. Savings accounts, current account, recurring account, fixed deposit account, different types of accounts. And every account will have a customer. And a customer will have different fields. For example, a customer will have name, a customer will have address, a customer will have a minimum account balance, a customer may opt for checkbook, may not opt for checkbook, a customer may have some other details like mobile number, date of birth, address, all the stuff. So we can have multiple details of this particular customer. So in that case, we can always make this as a structure. So when this input is in a format of structure, so probably I might accept the input from the keyboard and make the output to be transferred to the file. So in that case, probably I will not store this text in a normal way. So in that case, we store this input in a binary format with some encoding formats. When a structure is written to a file, we say that particular file as a binary file. So basically two types of files. One is a normal file where the text is transferred directly, and the other is a binary file where the text which is stored will be now encoded. Suppose if you open up a normal file, you will be able to read that particular output, or you will be able to read that particular input. But when you are doing it on a binary file, when the input is stored in a binary format, then probably the reading operation, the writing operations have to be done through programs. You can't directly open the file and read this particular input. So it is concluded that a file programming is used when the data is very, very large. Obviously, we will have separate instructions to read the contents from the file, separate ways to deliver the output of file. All these concepts will be dealt in the subsequent videos. Thank you.